Charlemagne was born in 768 during the Middle Ages in the Frankish kingdom. We don't know a lot about his youth, but he clearly received practical training for leadership from his father, or at least his father's court, in political, social, and military activities. When his father died, the Frankish realm was divided between Charlemagne and his brother Carloman. There was a rivalry between them that threatened the unity of the Frankish kingdom. But don't worry, Carloman died 3 years later, and Charlemagne, ignoring all of Carloman's heirs, took the entire Frankish reign for himself. So that's how Charlemagne came to power. During his reign, he was seen as the greatest warrior of the Middle Ages. His people revered him as a warrior king. He focused heavily on military fighting, over 50 campaigns for the Frankish realm. These were often bloody and brutal, but they brought in great wealth and they expanded the Frankish territory. He had many distinguishing qualities that made him the powerful leader he was. He was an ideal warrior chief with extraordinary energy, personal courage, and an iron will. Additionally, despite his elementary level education, he was intelligent, curious, and sensible. These attributes generally brought people towards him in loyalty and respect, though maybe a little bit of fear as well. Towards the end of his life, he went down to Rome to resolve some conflicts with the people, plucking out the eyes and tearing out the tongue of Pope Leo. Naturally, in his mercy in saving the Pope, Leo felt a need to coronate him as emperor. Charlemagne, in all his humility and dignity, opposed the title at first, but he came around to the idea. This was seen as the culminating, most important aspect of his life. Despite all of the wonderful and show-stopping things that Charlemagne did during his reign, he was still a regular guy. He put his pants on one leg at a time, just like you and I. He lived a regular life and even participated in some occasional leisure activities. We'll fill you in on all these details to come.
Charlemagne had a large palace in his kingdom of...
French.
Yeah, I don't speak French. He had a study full of books in Latin, Greek, and the liberal arts because of his appreciation for it and support of education and religion. His favorite book by far was St. Augustine. He had big rooms for social gatherings of feast and entertainment because he liked the company of others. Living in a large castle to support and also establish his position of a powerful ruler, he owned much land as well. He owned horses and a big stable because he enjoyed the leisurely time of riding horseback. He had a room full of hunting knives and weapons that he used on his leisurely time. On the east chamber of the castle, he had a whole spa designated with hot tubs and a personalized hairstylist for his long white hair. He enjoyed the activity of swimming and took delight in naturally hot waters. When he ate roasted meat in 4-course meals, and he took pride in entertainment either with a singer or reader as he ate, and indulged in everything while eating. He believed that fasting was bad for your health as well. He had occasional fruits and rarely ever indulged in wine or drinking. He wore the traditional Frankish dress with silk linen garments and fine jeweled shoes on his feet. He also wore a fine blue cloak in the winter and also had a sword either made of gold or silver and fine jewels.
Although he spent most of his efforts strategizing in order to reach his political goals, Charlemagne also made time for leisure activities such as reading, writing, hunting, archery, fencing, horseback riding, and dancing. Two of the most popular leisure activities Charlemagne was known for was the effort he made in order to become better educated, as well as his love for hunting. Charlemagne made an effort to read and write in an age when kings could hardly recite the alphabet. Although reading and writing was only common among monks, Charlemagne devoted himself to read and write, although he was engaged in political and practical rule. As it was a common pastime in medieval society, Charlemagne would engage in these activities if there was no official business to take care of for the day. Most hunting sport was done on horseback, along with the accompaniment of dogs, in order to catch either deer, wild boars, falcons, or hawks. Most prey was killed with a spear or bow.
To try to understand Charlemagne in our modern day, we want to examine the jobs that Charlemagne had. Put simply, as stated previously, he was king of the Frankish people. This can be compared to the President of the United States. Charlemagne sought to unite all the Germanic peoples into one kingdom and convert his subjects to Christianity. As quoted by the History Channel, in order to carry out this mission, he spent the majority of his reign engaged in military campaigns. Soon after becoming king, he conquered the Lombards in present-day northern Italy, the Avars in modern-day Austria and Hungary, and Bavaria, among others. Charlemagne waged a bloody 3 decades long series of battles against the Saxons, a Germanic tribe of pagan worshippers, and earned a reputation for ruthlessness. In 782, at the massacre of Verdun, Charlemagne reportedly ordered the slaughter of some 4,500 Saxons. He eventually forced the Saxons to convert to Christianity and declared that anyone who wasn't baptized or followed Christian traditions should be put to death. One of his hallmark military strategies was the sieges that he laid. His tactic in laying siege on opposing cities was to starve the other people out, and because they were unable to receive any supplies because their lines were cut off, it was effective, especially against the smaller kingdoms that were unable to have high food reserves and relied on obtaining food daily. This is a similar strategy that was used by other military rulers in many other wars.
Now that you have come to love and respect Charlemagne with all his quirks, interests, and power-hungry lifestyle, we hate to inform you that Charlemagne fell ill with a fever after bathing in his beloved personal hot springs, and he died 1 week later. Far too young, far too early. There has been some debate on Charlemagne's legacy. Some, like his grandson Nithard, that Charlemagne had left all Europe filled with every goodness. Beautiful, right? Well, there's some disagreement to Nithard's poetic statement. As historians recognize the inadequacies of Charlemagne's political apparatus, the limitations of his military forces in the face of new threats from seafaring foes, the failure of his religious reforms to affect the great mass of Christians, the narrow traditionalism and clerical bias of his cultural program, and the oppressive features of his economic and social programs. And the list goes on and on. One can't deny, though, that Charlemagne did do some great things for the Frankish kingdom, and his efforts and work made a big difference in European history. We'll let you decide if Charlemagne deserves to be a hero or a villain, but we hope this information on his personal life helped you to see that regardless of which he was just a regular guy trying to live his life the best he could, just like we have in this presentation.
Hey guys, follow us on Instagram at Charlemagne.
We're doing a giveaway to the first 500 followers.
Please subscribe.
Make the Franks great again.